Hello guys and welcome back to EIR. We are here for round 14 and a penultimate round of the championship, and we are here for a Brazilian Grand Prix, and not only just a Brazilian Grand Prix, we have a sprint race as well. Only the 12 drivers tonight. Championship can be won tonight if Joe pretty much wins both races. Chris just won't have enough points for the last round for it to go uh, to the last round. What is your ad set to? I'm gonna kill myself if I keep getting ads. You can disable them, I believe. I'm pretty sure you can skip them because you're a mod. Because John was doing that last week. I don't know what they're set to. I think it's like, I don't really know. So as you can see, a very rare moment. We have Kreml, who's a new driver. Don't really know much all about him, but we have the Season 1 World Champion of SRL. I'm the Pog. It was a different gamer tag back then. He was known as SV John and LR Pogu, I believe, in his tenure of SVOR and SRL. But he is back, and I do believe he will be racing next season. I do believe he is being helped tonight from his good friend Bonge. So good evening. You are in the chat as well, so hello. So we do have a driver out on track. It is going to be its tops. So we will. I would ride on forward with him, but I can't really do that at the moment. There we go. It's doing me some dusty arse backwards facing camera, which we do not want to see. Can we? There we go. So in the Alpine, only 2 more rounds to go, and then the season has been completed. I really hope the championship goes to the last race. I feel like we deserve it. We've never had it happen before. John won it in Mexico. Brad, I think, won it just before China. Oh, what do you want now? I don't care. Killian, I can't actually remember. Joe, can't remember. Bonge won it at Mexico. Reese won it, I think, at... It was either Saudi or the race before, I can't remember. And then Killian won twice in a row, and then Chris won it with like 3 or 4 rounds to go as well. So as its tops is on a flying lap, heads down into turn 2, obviously purple in sector 1. Very easy to get track limits. It wouldn't be too surprising if we see all the drivers tonight get at least 1 penalty. Very easy to do, especially through the Senna S's. But yeah, good evening everybody. I hope you're all well. Again, it was fairly hot today. The highest I got to was 19 degrees. Let's see what sector 2 is. A 52.5. And the DRS wide open to the line. Let's see what the first time is going to be. It's going to be a 109.5. We will now jump on board with Risky Andy, who I believe Kreml actually is someone to look out for, because I'm not exactly sure what his pace is. He actually will be the next car to set a lap. Oh, a little bit wayward out of the final corner though. Oh. He's coming back into the pit. I'm not sure if he lagged there. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but Risky Andy now coming to the line. Going to be a 108.9. Who is next across? Going to be Bradford. No, it won't. It will be Havoc. Who is starting it out. We've got a Red Bull now crossing the line as well. That'll be Squire. I believe is invalidated his lap. Let's get on board with the tops. That's just crossing the line now. Pog not adventuring out onto the track just yet. I think Havoc will be the... Oh no, it would be Brad. Brad invalidated his lap. So this will probably be another... That's purple in sector 2 though. Is Pog supposed to be in a car? Yep, he is racing. It's more of a surprise kind of thing for everyone. And Brad goes P2, 7 tenths off. Let Joe, who has set the first big lap, I would say, in qualifying. Here comes Havoc in the Ferrari. Where can he place? Goes P4. I know he didn't have tick event attendance, but I knew he was racing anyway, so it's fine. We've got a Red Bull heading back out of the track. That's Kreml. Phone is going off like a madman. I don't think we have anyone on. I think Joe's on another flying lap. No, he's not. I don't think we have anyone on. No, Andy's not on a lap. Havoc isn't, so thanks to I thought was coming out on the track then. But we'll stay on board with the Red Bull then. Who is currently filling in for Reese tonight. Who unfortunately isn't here. Despair said he was going to try and be here, but I think he's got stuck at work. Unfortunately, these things happen, especially on a Monday. I feel like if we move to a Sunday, it'd be so much better and easier for everybody, but we've always had a Monday time slot, and I don't think it's worth changing, personally. So here he comes, Kreml into turn 1. Will be interesting to see how well he does on his debut race. And he thunders down into turn 4. 17.0, that's apparently currently the fastest in sector 1. Looking good so far for the Red Bull driver. See how his first sector is. 52.1. Very purple. We'll see how well it is on the way up to the finishing line. DRS well open. See what the time's going to be. A 109.0 puts him into 4th place so far. A lot of drivers doing multiple laps by the looks of things. We will jump back on board with its tops. I think I need to change the Alpine's camera because it's very far forward. Currently up only just in sector 2. I think for the next stream I will turn down the ads. And he pops himself up into P5. Displaces Havoc. Ah, oh, he's on his way out. We got anyone on that? We do. We have Brad currently flying down. He's coming into the pits. The Pog is here, but we have people on laps. Squire validated. Sinful Chris. I think Adam is slightly ahead of him on track. absolutely riding on that curb. Yellow flag in sector 2. RSF 1 Hunt on his first. Oh, he's had a massive slide there. That's going to be an invalidated lap. We'll jump on back on board with Chris. Purple in sector 2. Let's see if he can fight Let Joe. Doesn't have his teammate there this weekend, unfortunately for him. I believe he's away on holiday. And Chris to the line. That's a 1:15.5. Not the quickest we've ever seen from him. I'm sure he wasn't using any EIR, but now he is. And he is now flying. Here comes I'm the Pog in his first race in about, I think it's about 2 years. Let's see how well he does on his first flying lap in competitive racing with the number 6 on his car. Not really sure if that has any meaning, but it's always good to see John back on track. Fingers crossed he'll be back here next season. Bonge is hopefully joining as well, but he has said he probably won't be able to do anything until at least January time, so he might be here, I think, for Brazil and Las Vegas. John with a 52.4 in sector 2. That's good so far. It's about I don't really know what Joe's. Brad is in second somehow. He's just been displaced by Chris, who's about a 10th off. Here comes Pog. A 109.3, just behind Kreml. Only 3/10 away. It's a good starting point so far. ISF 1 Hunt on a lap again as well. We've got BXTN, who has been fairly quick over the last couple of couple of Mondays that he's raced, and he is doing an exceptional job in that Alpine. Alpine were stone dead last to start this season. They didn't really have the drivers to really cope with the demand. I think BXTN has backed. Where's BXTN? He's in third. How did I miss? I've been riding on board with Adam all this time. I'm an idiot. Running out very wide there. Missing all the apexes. DRS wide open. He's coming into the pits. That would explain that. Was not on for a very quick lap. We'll get back on back on board with Kreml. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. John thundering in to the pit lane. And BXCN, the only drivers currently out on track. Let's see if Kreml can do anything to get above Risky Andy with about 5.5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Very nice through the S's, or the S, I guess, not really an S's, there's only one S. Purple in sector 2. This would currently put him just behind Andy, but 2 more sectors to go on his lap. Very wide in the middle of the track. That's an invalidation. Haven't got anyone coming back out. That's why the only driver not to have set a lap so far. Have we got anyone coming back out on track? Does not look like it. So we'll stick on board with the Red Bull driver as we. Let's snap on my first lap. Oh, I know. I caught it. Looked like he was on for a good lap as well. Kreml back into the pits. He's definitely impressing me. I still feel like John has something in the bag. Especially if he was doing 08s in on time trial. Time trial and qualify, like an actual lobby, is all very different. We have Adam about to appear out of his garage, and we also just Kreml invalidated. We've got I'm the Pog going back out onto track, and we've got Adam, who I think he just hit the wall there. With just under 4 minutes remaining in qualifying. The AlphaTauri of RSF1 Hunt and the Mercedes of I'm the Pog. Once you get like a good rhythm around this track, it's gonna be probably it requires the perfect. What's John done? Oh, bro missed its corner apparently. That was Havoc coming out of the pits as well. So let's ride on board. Oh, a very shaky start to this lap from Hunt. Let's see what he can do. Can he get above? And remember, he is the only driver that has started the season, and currently the only driver to have finished. Technically, he has finished every race, so that is something. He is slightly down in Sector 1, and he's the only driver to score points in every main race, as he didn't get points at one of the sprint races. I can't remember which one it was. Got a lot of drivers now coming out with 2 minutes remaining. Can Chris find that extra 10th to put him on pole? Now if Joe wins the sprint race, Chris would need to outscore Joe in the main race. 5 tenths up in the second sector, and it's looking to be a decent lap so far. Let's see what his final sector is going to be. Might have enough time to go again if he can replenish his ERS, and Hunt goes to P8. Now we have Pog, who's currently 6 tenths up on his lap time. It's going to be an absolutely amazing lap. To the line goes P4. Absolutely solid lap from the Mercedes. Let's get on board with Havoc, as he will be the next driver to settle up, unless the Red Bull. That's Havoc 3.5 tenths up. That would currently put him around the Kreml area. Let's see what he can do. DRS wide open. Goes to P7. Here comes the AlphaTauri of Joe starting his flying lap. And I think BXCN is also... No, that was Tops, I think, starting his lap. Got a Red Bull of Kreml, who is now heading to the final corner. He doesn't improve. Must have made a mistake somewhere. And then we have Risky Andy starting his lap now. Oh no, he's just finished one. Oh, my bad. Let's have a look at Joe, who's invalidated his lap. So this could be Chris's time, because I don't think Joe's going to have enough time to get to the line. Can Chris take pole position at Brazil? Qualifying is now over. Alan Squire puts it on pole position. Can Chris come back with anything? I'm the Pog is going to start at a minimum P7, P6. Oh, Chris nearly losing the rear end. Joe has completed his qualifying, and Chris is all over the shop as we speak. We have a Red Bull now crossing the line. That's going to be Kreml, I would imagine, and completes his qualifying. There's an AlphaTauri getting well. I thought he was about to give him a tow to the line. Can Sinful Chris do anything about getting pole position? He heads to the line now. He's starting P2, so he is ahead of Joe. That is the main thing. And BXTN comes I need to finish that sentence real quick. Uh, and grabs pole position. What about Bradford? And he is backed off of this lap, and Adam is facing backwards for some reason. Oh, and he's been disqualified. I mean, he's only going to be losing one position, so... Naughty. Got beached. Mate, if you get beached, you can reset the track. Wow, what a qualifying session. Uh, 20... 29... So there we go, just a quick rundown of qualifying. BXTN is on pole for the sprint race. Alex Squire MP2, Sinful Chris MP3, Joe MP4, Bradford MP5, I'm the Pog MP6, Risky Andy P7, Havoc MP9, Kreml MP Havoc MP8, sorry, Kreml P9, Tops MP10. Axel moves up one position due to the disqualification of RSF1 Hunt, who will be starting in 12th place. And now we have 4 minutes to chill out. I'd imagine people will probably go with the soft. Maybe. Can't believe that didn't want to reset. Mate, if you get beached, you can reset. That's the only time we do allow for resets. I mean, technically it doesn't really mean anything now because we have ghosting off. No, on, sorry. Adam, you know the protocol. Once it hits the time, you can ready up. Bonds, can I get your thoughts on your book? Oh, he's not here. I was going to ask if I could get thoughts on your boy's performance, but... let's move these bloody towels out the way. Should have grabbed can of Monster before I started tonight. But we move. Let's go with my top three. Squire, BXTN, and Joe. See, if Joe finishes out the top three, though, that definitely makes it interesting. About 2 minutes. BXTN, I know you're currently watching. That is a cracking lap, by the way. I also think you've got another race straight after this, if I remember correctly. Pretty sure you race again, because I always see you go live. We have, I don't know how long we actually have. Oh, You can ready up. Now we'll see if the safety car will come out on lap 1, because it has for the last 2 weeks. Let's see if it happens again. Formation lap should be on. It is indeed. So, Squire and Andy, the only drivers to go for a soft tyre. Very interesting. Can't say I disagree with the soft tyre. That would be the tyre that I would personally go for, but we'll be interested to see if a great rivalry, if you know, you know, between Brad and Pog. The last time, if you were around, the last time I think anyone heard from Pog was when he was streaming for SRL. It was season... I want to say season 4. That was the last time he kind of streamed for us as well. But yeah, it has been a couple of years since he last grabbed the wheel and raced. Bear in mind, he has only been practicing for the last, I want to say, 3 or 4 days, something like that. So it will be interesting to see. Oh, that's not ideal. BXCN now coming up to his grid box. Squire did say he's going to be the one to ruin Joe's day. So we will see if that happens tonight. As BXCN, a very slow time getting to his grid box. Now everyone is in place. We have some red lights somewhere. It's lights out and away we go. We didn't even have red lights that time. And we are underway in Brazil. And BXCN has got a perfect start. And I'm the Pog is already getting overtaken by Andy. Andy up. No, he didn't get the place. He is still behind. Let's have a look, see what he can do on this opening lap. And here comes Andy to the inside. He is on those soft tyres, so he will have the advantage at the start. And John's already round. Not the start that he wanted. Someone else is in the wall. Tops is in the wall as well. But the main focus is at the top, and Bradford is going to try and hold on to these. I don't really know who was at fault there. Didn't really see all too much. Looked like a bit of a coming together. Joe starting to reel his way in, but Brad not too far behind Joe. And for Chris onto the back of Allied Squire. Can he get the job done? Will he not? I don't think he's going to make it all too hard for Chris. Oh, and I think Joe just hit Squire. I don't think John got any damage either. I generally think Joe has just hit Squire. So that'll be very interesting for the stewards. Can't do anything as of right now, because I mean he was right behind him when it happened. I don't know if he has damage. I mean, Squire did say he was going to ruin his chances tonight, and if Joe gets a time penalty for whatever happened, it's a very nice helmet from Joe, actually. I don't like that. As we go into lap 3 of 12. Allied Squire gets past Andy. And is up into P5. I'd imagine Chris will want to give BXCN as much DRS as he can. BXCN and Chris are friends in real life, bearing in mind, so could be coordinating even though they're not in the same team. Joe will probably be looking in for a turn 1 overtake. Got Pog now climbing up to the back of Gangster Al. And it won't be too long, I'd imagine, until John gets past Williams. He will get points. Only top 10 in the sprint get points. And here comes Let Joe. Gets the end down the inside. Gives Joe a bit of a push there. Don't think Joe's going to be all too happy with that. Here comes Squire onto the back of Bradford. If I was Brad, I'd let Squire go through so he can then battle Joe. Oh, and that's Squire off. Now he has his teammate right behind him. Well, stand-in teammate anyway. How did he crash? Unless Brad has pushed him off again, because he did that at Vegas. It's only just about going to have DRS here. As we head on to lap 5 of the race, and here comes Bradford though. Got a yellow flag. Oh, that's, I think, John. It's had a bit of a spin, I think. Not going to plan here for the Season 1 SVOR champion. Joe really wants to get past BXCN at this point. That's got Brad all over the back of him now, though. That Squire has indeed let his teammate through, by the looks of things. BXCN, I think, no. Chris has slowed down to give BXCN some DRS. Four-way fight for the lead, though. Joe was gaining. Would he go for a lunge down the inside? Not just yet. Ooh. Squire overtaking his teammate as well. The softs are probably going to start falling away fairly soon, I'd imagine. As we're on lap 6 of the sprint race, and it's looking good for Chris so far. I believe if Joe would have won both races with fastest lap and clean race point, 29 points was the gap. You need 28 I mean, 27 really wouldn't mean anything because Joe has had more wins on countback. And here comes Joe again to the outside. Not going to have much to do there, and Brad is starting to fall off the pack a little bit here. He's still just about keeping within DRS though. Although he just... oh, Joe nearly losing the rear. Under park onto the back of tops now. Tops running out a bit wide. John has a lot of experience when it comes to league racing, so he knows when to go for a move or not, I would imagine. Here comes Let Joe again. Not close enough this time though. Brad only just about getting DRS, and Squire now gets past Risky Andy for P5. Joe down the inside of both drivers. Oh, Joe hits Chris though. Will be at the end, let Chris back through. Chris has no ERS. This might go for the move down the inside of turn 1 here. Joe round the outside though. Chris was like, no, you're not having that. Then it's starting to get a bit of a gap though. RSF1 Hunt picks up the first time penalty of the evening. That is just sticking with them. Especially with the potential penalty with Let Joe for causing a collision at turn 1 on Squire. It's going to get very interesting these last few laps. Gap is relatively the same between Chris to BXCN and Chris to Joe. Joe goes to the outside again, down the inside! And he is ahead of Chris. Which is not great for Chris in the championship. I mean, Joe does have that looming penalty that he may get, so that could change things. Oh, Chris looking for the inside. Oh, he's hit him! Still keeps going though. Get a flag, that's tops round by the looks of things. Oh, and Joe is absolutely... he's lost DRS. So he could be under a bit of threat from Chris from behind. Squire's now starting to catch up as well. Not sure if Joe is anywhere close to getting any penalties or anything. Same goes towards Chris. We probably had a warning for the collision last lap. Tops has retired from the session. Pog is into the points, that's the main thing. Chris now will be looking for a move. Might have unsettled Joe a little bit there. Here comes Brad. Can we see a double move down the inside? Oh! Brad doing everything he can. Here comes Squire as well. Simple Chris is gonna need an absolute monstrous run out of the Aquaminimare or something. I don't want to mispronounce it. Squire now less than a tenth behind Brad. Here comes Chris. Can he do anything about Joe? Sends it down the inside. And he gets the move done. Underpog picks up a 3-second time penalty. Isn't all going to mean too much. But here can Joe. Oh, BSN has slowed right down. Give him a toe, but I don't think it's going to mean all too much. Can Joe get him on the line? And Chris wins! BSN gives him the win! Oh my god. What a race. Simple Chris. Jesus. Oh. Adam finishes P8. Havoc's going to come home in P9. Not too far ahead of John, but John does have that 3-second time penalty. And Joe might get a 5 seconds, but he would only lose the 2 places. So that could be a little bit worse for Joe. So Simple Chris wins the sprint race. So he does catch up by a fair bit. If Joe gets that time penalty, then he's going to gain a lot more points. Will be interesting to see if Squire has recorded that incident. Simple Chris BSCN, let Joe is your podium. As for now, Bradford may inherit that P3 from P4. Squire in P5, Risky Andy P6, Kreml in P7, Hunt in P8, Havoc P9, Pog in P10, Gexwell in 11th, and Tops will be starting Stow dead last. Their mediums felt alright, to be fair. Yeah, they didn't look too bad. Oh! Oh, the things you love to see. A wet race. Do I want to know what the weather's going to be like for the entire race? Definitely doesn't look like it's going to let up anytime soon. I even said it today, that there was going to be a wet race. And I get it, it's amazing. It sort of could have got more pushed off track. Oh, that's shit, mate. Ugh. If you have it clipped, obviously send it in and we will sort that out for you. If you haven't got it clipped, I would say check the race replay, but because you DNF'd, it doesn't save it for some apparent reason. I know he was close to John, like near the last few laps. Got it recording anyway. Ah, fair enough. Yes. Fucking hell. A wet race at Brazil. Things you love to see. Soon as I've got a bit of time, go to the toilet. Oi is back. Right. Second to last corner, I got pushed wide onto the grass and another incident on the back straight. I tried going to the inside and I had it covered. We went there, I retired because I lost my brain. There was no points on the table. See, I feel like maybe potentially changing the sprint race points to 12th as well. So I'd probably do like 15, 12, and then 10 all the way down to, 12? Well, 10 to 1, yes. But to 12, yeah. So 12 will get, what, 15, 12, 10. Ideally, you could just do 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That'd probably be a lot easier. I retire. Oh, I read that. I believe we have 2 more minutes. We've got 1 more minute. You can ready up now. Well, good luck to Tops. Good luck in this race. I mean, you just have to keep on the track. Literally, top 12, you get points anyway. So we'll be interested to see how John does, especially on a wet track. Oh, my stomach hurts. Hope to be careful. Hate wet Brazil. I mean, Brazil's one of those tracks where it's either going to be dry or it's going to be extremely wet. There's not usually any in between. I suppose we haven't started ready. Oh, there we go. But here we go, formation lap. I'd imagine we're all on wet. I would imagine. Oh, interesting. We all got off the line. We have indeed. Hopefully no one disqualifies himself on this formation lap. Crashing, like disqualifying yourself on a formation lap when it's raining is probably the worst. Let me see. Oh, I can do it on my phone. Let's see if Joe could win the champion. If Joe gets 5 seconds, that would push him to 5th. So that would be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 points compared to Chris's 10. Gap was 22. That would bring it down to 18. I think as long as Chris finishes P2 with a clean race, it will go to Abu Dhabi. I'm pretty sure. That's if Joe gets the penalty in the sprint race. All depends on whether it got clipped. I mean, I have it, so if I wanted to be an absolute arsehole, I could just send it in myself, but... the only time I kind of do it is if I know it should be sent in, and I know that should be sent in, so whether Squire does it or not. Although he did mention it in the chat, so I'd imagine he probably had it. I thought he just went over. Into next out. That's John doing donuts in the background. And here we go. Can I have red lights this time, please? 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it looks like BXCN has probably got... No, I thought Chris had a better start. And Joe already up into P2, but he's going to get pushed out wide from BXCN. BXCN getting pushed into the side. And RSF1 Hunt already losing 2 places from where he started. There's going to be no DRS, so Joe's going to have to do this on pure pace. He looks down the inside, and he backs out straight out of that. Top 5 haven't changed any positions. Havoc has gained, I think, 2 places, so is Pog. So they are doing something, right? Now we have 36 laps of one of the best circuits in the world, and Brad has given Joe a bit of a tap, and John is around again by the looks of things. Bradford and Squire look like they're having a little bit of a ding-dong battle. I think Brad will get out slightly just ahead. He will indeed. See how well Let Joe does in wet conditions. Looks like BXCN is giving Chris a little bit of a hurry along there. Joe's starting to put a little bit of pressure onto these two. Oh, it's quite down the inside of Bradford. Hasn't been the return Pog probably wanted. But it's I'd say it's common, especially when you haven't raced in a while. Just brushing off the cobwebs, especially if you haven't actually raced against anyone. I believe he has just been doing time trial and probably the odd Grand Prix practice sessions. AI and actual drivers is a completely different thing. Squire going to do everything he can by the looks of things to ruin Joe's moment. I mean, whoever wins this championship definitely deserves it. Joe has been exceptional all year, but Chris has found a new way of doing things by the looks of things. And he has absolutely done well to catch up, especially how far he was back a few races ago. Here comes Allied Squire. With the rain being here, it's all about who's got more pace. No DRS. ERS is going to be a big question. I wonder if we will get any safety cars in this race. Fairly easy to bring out the safety car around here. Hopefully we don't have a repeat of last season's Brazilian Grand Prix where Joe crashed out spectacularly, I guess you could say. This is the race where I got absolutely murdered by some driver who was having his first race, but he got pushed off a couple of times and decided that the next car that he was going to come across, which was me, he was going to take out. So oh, Squire's had a spin. He's going to leave Bradford. Try and catch up to the back of these guys now. He's definitely putting Joe under some pressure. And Squire's now all the way down in 9th place. Make that 10th. Well, you saw how well he did to get back down the inside of Gangster out. Gangster out is... Oh, John has spun again. Yeah, it definitely hasn't been... Oh, Joe's starting to lose... I'll say DRS, but it's just no DRS at the moment. Does it look like it's drying up? I don't think it is. Oh, bad, send it. Oh, Joe losing the front there. Oh, Brad catching hold of the little bit of a poop in your pants movement there. Dremel picks up the time penalty. As I said, very easy to do round here. Even in Brazil, in the dry, very easy to pick up a penalty. But in the wet, pretty much guaranteeing a penalty. Brad will be gearing up a... Oh! Trying to get the power down. The squad gets past RSF 100. The P8. Kreml onto the back of Havoc. I think he's had a bit of a mistake though. It's just lost a bit of time. Yeah, I think I forgot to screenshot the results of the sprint race. But I will grab a screenshot at the end of this race. We have a yellow flag, that is, I think, John having another moment. John never really tends to give up unless he knows there's nothing really to drive for, but as soon as he will get points on his debut, he would score... He scored 2. Joe is not really liking the wet. I don't think he's, I would say he's not very good in the wet, but he's still managing to keep him P2. Bit of a dry line forming now. Joe getting a little bit edgy on throttle as well. So I think I like what Brad does. He kind of lets his car drift out to the outside of the track, so he can keep his car relatively planted. Right, Squire. Getting the fastest lap of the race so far. I don't know if it's supposed to dry up near the end. Definitely starting to get a little bit lighter. Especially with the clouds and all that. The only one you're seeing so far on track, apart from Squire, you will be seeing... Oh, and Brad down the inside. Nearly loses the car whilst attempting the overtake. Joe then gets back past and Bradford down the inside. Gets the car stopped and now he is in a podium position. And if Joe is struggling as much as he was from in front of the car, I don't see what he's going to be like trying to drive behind one. He's already lost about 4 tenths. Wait, that's 5 tenths. Fog's still starting to crawl in back into P11. Starting to. Squire now gets past his teammate up for P7. Too far, Andy's not too far behind. 2.3. Any sort of mistake from Joe, and he's already starting to lose a lot of time. That is Achilles' heel. Wet races. I'm sure if it starts, definitely starting to get lighter. So we may see some dry running, and then we may see Joe come back for this win. But the fact he's now 2 seconds behind Bradford. Losing the car. Thought he was going to pit then. And Pog makes his way past Gangster out. Oh yeah, it's 15 seconds to catch up to its tops, who I think they had a bit of a coming together in the sprint race. Oh, it's Squire now onto the back of Havoc. Well, he wasn't supposed to be racing today, bearing in mind. He was supposed to have a race ban for this week, but we gave him a quali ban, as we believed that it wasn't as bad as what Joe did, but seeing as he served his quali ban, we couldn't give him another penalty on top of that. .6 now the gap. It's still raining, so it's not like it's gonna dry up. Squire down the inside of Havoc. Definitely hasn't been Havoc's season this season. Yeti struggling to get the traction down. May find himself under a little bit of a bother from Squire soon. Definitely has lightened up ever so slightly over the last lap or so. I'm sure Squire would love to get past Andy and then get onto the rear of Joe and overtake him. And BXTN now takes the lead of this race. So these two are working fairly well together. Now Bradford is up to cause a bit of a scene, and now Squire past Andy. Squire with absolutely no ERS whatsoever. You can see his friend just ahead. Bradford now could go for the win here. Hasn't won in a while. I'm sure he would love to get back on that top step of the podium. It's tops Picks up a 3-second time penalty. I am wondering if anyone would be opting for a pit stop anytime soon. Like if you're near the back, you're not really going to be losing out on all too much. 1.9 the gap between Squire and Joe now. Havoc starting to reel in to Andy as well. Brad absolutely looks like he's on it tonight. Yeah, Pog's actually done quite well. He's taken 5 seconds out of tops in the last few laps, so give it to about lap 15. I'd imagine Pog will probably be all over the back of him. Squire now 1.2 behind his rival. Joe is really struggling. Not sure if it's just his tyres or it's due to the fact that he just doesn't like the way. He usually struggles when it comes to these type of races. Brad getting all sideways there. And here comes Squire. Oh, Joe also nearly losing the rear. And Brad is into the pits. Speeding in the pit lane as well. Cheating little butt. I think Joe even knows that he's not going to be very competitive tonight, especially in the rain. Bradford just comes out. Someone was running wide there. I think that was Adam. Haven't really been on board with John all race, so let's have a look and see how the Sage driver is doing. Doing very well on his ERS. Is being coached by his good friend Bonge tonight, as I already mentioned in qualifying. As I said, not been the best race weekend for him. Brazil is his home away from home, but with the rustiness of not racing for a good couple of years, definitely it's probably taken its toll. And bearing in mind, the last time he raced was, I want to say, the start of F1 22. I think. Oop. Yeah, at the moment. Hasn't lost all too much time there. Joe's kind of keeping with Squire. Tops is also now into the pit and a 5-second time penalty. He's on another set of intermediate, sorry. That's bold. I don't think softs is the way to go, but we move. Where is my drink? Oh, there it is. I don't think softs is the way to go as of right now, but maybe Joe would benefit from a pit stop. Doing very well in his ERS, not gonna lie. I think even Tops has just found out that going on to softs is probably not the greatest idea known to man. Pog's up to 10th, by the way. I have just noticed. Bradford with the fastest lap of the race. Taking it off, I believe, was Squire. Not like Joe is losing all too much time off his lap times. his team. I wonder how Ferrari are going to plan this now. I do believe it is still raining ever so slightly still. Definitely not anywhere near dry tyres. Purple in sector 2 again. Another pass of luck, is he? He does indeed by another 4 attempts. Let's see what the Ferrari boys do. Got a yellow flag, I think that's tops. Having a bit of a spin. Probably won't be too long until he gets lapped. No, he's not too far. Yeah, and Havoc lets him through. Brad would need to serve his 5-second time to get a clean race point, same as Tops. Kreml picked up a 3-second, I believe, so unfortunately that's not really going to mean all too much. I wonder how Andy is going to play this. He leaves the door wide open, so that is Brad. Oh. Brad has no ERS. Ah! Jesus. That's a bit of a heart in your mouth from Brad there. Tops is still going on his softs, even though they're definitely not the tyre to be on. Oh, and we have a safety car. Why? Oh, and John. In the perfect time. Perfect place to pit that. Kreml picks up another 3-second time penalty. Pog has gone mediums. I don't think it's raining anymore. I've got spray still though. See what everyone else goes with. Pops, I think it's just been lapped. Brad is losing this race. Let's go. John's been naughty. Oh no, Brad. I think Brad's fucked himself here. Saying that, Adam, Gans out and Tops are all on into still. This could be where Joe comes back on these guys. Let's have a look at times Joe was doing under Inters. So around low to high 21s. Brad was doing 19s, low 20s. Had 2 very slow laps. And he did 2 fast laps, so I'd imagine he'll be in this lap then. John will be gonna be stone dead last by the time we start. Brad peeled in, he does not. Squire's back in though. Is he in for another set of inters? He is indeed. He feels like Brad is on the right side. It's definitely not dried up to the point where the dries are going to be the better tyre. It's definitely going to be an interesting start to this race. It's definitely stopped raining. And with 18 laps to go. Yeah. It's a very hard decision to kind of go with. Should have one more lap under the safety car. If Brad wants to pit, he will come out ahead of John. He's going to stay out. Don't even know why we had a safety car, but yeah, let me have a incident. So what did we have? So no one tops her front wing change. So why was there a safety car? Unless it was for tops because he had a broken front wing. That may be it then. Risky Andy is just overtaken Haddock by the things. Against the owl. And John spun. He would have been going far. He's trying to catch up to the safety car, so. Either Brad's going to get this start perfect, or he is on the wrong tyre. Safety car should be in, I think, this lap. It is indeed. So Brad is now effectively the safety car. See, a dry tyre on a wet track isn't usually the most ideal. Even Brad will decide to, I'd imagine, now. There you go. Caught them all napping. What has happened? I have no idea what's just happened. Oh my god. Chris has had a wobble. But now he's behind Joe. Yeah, these dry tyres are not it, my guy. And I think John notices that and he's back in. Is he going on to Inters though? Oh no, and he's spun. Oh, Stefan's out of fourth, around the outside of his teammate. I really wouldn't be surprised if I see all these guys on dry tyres coming in. Oh, Stefan's into it! He's on the podium! Go on, Adam. Now, it might come back to them. But it's going to take a while. Oh, and Joe's gone completely off. Gives Chris a bit of a love tap. Gangster Al is about to overtake a world champion here, by the way. He's about to overtake two champions here. The Sinful Fish is about to get the wrath of Gangster Al. Yep, Pog's on for a set of Inters. I mean, it may dry up, but depending on how quick they can get a gap. That's why I set the fastest lap on the race. It just shows that dry tyres were not it. Come on, Gangster Al. Around the outside. Have it up past. Oh. Something's happened. Ooh. Bet Joe's gone for softs. That's not going to help you either. It does for a little bit. Gangster Al's up in the 5th. Oh, and Gangster Al. Battle for the lead. I mean, the top two, if they need to pit for dries, they're going to be safe. Adam, maybe a little bit off. Oh, Joe's got a 5-second time penalty. What an amazing race this has been, by the way. John is now past that Joe up into 10th. Squire into the lead. Oh, and Clem's out. Is that going to be a safety car? It is. Maybe Brad Pitt's now. get onto some pressure rubber. BXTN and Havoc should surely pit as well. I don't think it's dry enough for what is BXTN going for against the Owl for another set of the Inters. BXTN set of Inters as well. Havoc also a set of Inters. Pog is up to P9 now. It is not going in the way that Joe wanted, I don't think. Squire. Now get into the pits, yeah. I mean, Adam has so much time. Brad is serving. I think, did that Squire just pit for a new front wing? It looked like he did. No, Andy did. Brad got rid of his... And Joe's back in. Oh, no, Adam! No! I'd say if he has enough time to come back in. See what the gap is. Where's Chris up there? I think Adam could get rid of that 5-second time when he come out ahead of Gangster Owl. John's up to 8th somehow. Does have Risky Andy up his arse though for some reason. Well, this is going to be a very chaotic end to this race. As soon as it says DRS is activated, then I'd imagine a load of people are going to be peeling into the pits for a set of dries. Tops is back in. Yeah, Adam's pitting again. Don't pick up another one for fucks. Adam! Looks like this race has been interesting. Owl P4, stop the count. Yeah, it's been a pretty mental race. Adam, you shouldn't have pit. Well, as it stands, Chris will be taking the championship to Abu Dhabi. Because Joe is only getting 4 points with a clean race at that point. Gangsta is now P3, stop the count. Something Gangsta has probably never really seen in his life, a podium. Can we get another safety car? Like, straight after. I mean, Adam would have been fine if he had slowed down in time. How you doing anyway, Light Shock? Safety car going to be in this lap? We got one more. I got one more. We got in a chair now. That was a good race. Mate, you were doing absolutely brilliantly, mate. Spoiler, losing a bit. For a first race you've done, I think you should be fairly proud of yourself. What even actually happened? I wasn't watching what happened. at the time. Well, Chris is 25, 20, 18, 15 plus being 16. Joe is on 4. I think the gap, if it finishes like this, if Chris gets a win, then I think it would be less than 10 points going into the last round. A Point does need to win the championship. Currently, as it stands, he won't be winning it tonight. The Squire crashes himself up. By the way, sorry, A. Smith. I don't know what your actual name is, but I did say to Joe that you couldn't race tonight, but I'll get you into the Discord for next week. He would need to win, and then kind of see where we go from there. But because he didn't finish first in the sprint race, I don't think mathematically he can win. And the fact that he may get a penalty for what he did to Squire, so I don't think he can win this week. But when I've done the standings, I will then see what he can do to win, basically. But unfortunately, someone just take me out of the track and I hit the wall. Ah, that sucks, mate. As long as you got it clipped, we can have a look at it. And Squire gets this race back underway with 8 laps remaining. Can Joe start making his way up the field? Goes to the inside of Pog and hits him. Joe round the outside of Pog, and that's another position. Against the Owl has just lost a shit ton of positions. Oh my god, he's just pushed Chris out of the way pretty much. What is going on? Oh, that's Joe off. I don't know where he's going, but I know where he's going. All the way down into 10th. Chris down the inside of RSF1 Hunt. Gives him a bit of a hit there. Not very nice. Ugh. Ozo just shouldn't. As the closer, no worries. Ah. It's very unpredictable when it's raining, unfortunately. Oh my god. Andy getting the run of his life. Have it though. Chris up into 4th now. I want demoted down to B9. Joe up into 7th now. Pog now up into 9th. What are you doing, Adam? Joe now up into 6th. Fixed up. 3-second time penalty for his troubles. Oh, that Joe. Oh, Havoc. Definitely not enjoying those tyres at the moment. And here comes that Joe down to the inside. Oh, he has his title rival just ahead of him. Gangster out. Gets passed by Andy. Is Topsford the leading lap? I think he is. Don't know how he's managed to do that, but he is. We are now on to lap 31 or 36. Got Pog onto the back of Gangster out. Gangster out actually has straight like or not. Wait, Joe served this 5-second time, I only just noticed. I don't know where he did that, but we move. Also, because I haven't done it, don't forget to subscribe to our Twitch channel. It's my Twitch channel, but any money, as I said, any money that gets done through or sent whilst we're streaming EIR gets put straight back in to helping the league in whatever ways we can. Another flag, I think that's John having a bit of a moment. As he sits now in the 11th. Joe now, I think he's just going to have to settle for 5th, and John's had another spin. What is my man doing? I did say I predicted a P5, but I think if it was a incident-free dry race, I think he could have definitely achieved it. Although saying that, if I was... there's still a bit of spray. If I was kind of behind Adam, I'd be looking for maybe jumping on a set of softs for the last couple of laps. Getting a little bit wary on there. Started to slowly get caught by Havoc. As it stands, championship will indeed go to Abu Dhabi for the first time in the EIR slash SRL slash SVOR history. We thought Gangster Al was going to get a podium, and then the safety car came out. Chris, though, hasn't really had it all his way in this race, though. We're now on lap 34 and 36. So not too long to go now. It stops onto the back of Gangster out. pretty much for the wooden spoon of the race. What is the penalty situation of everyone? I believe Adam has 5 seconds, so he's got 8 seconds. So is Tops. So which stops has everyone made? What's the most? 4. Fair play. This load up. He's getting an extra position, courtesy of his friend BXCN, who is getting that place back. I do believe Optic will be back for next week, so it will all be to play for. Also in the constructors as well. Don't think Chris is going to be able to gain 11.5 seconds in these 2 laps, so you may have to he'll still get a podium, so that's Brad makes a really awful mistake, but Squire now done everything right this race, and he will start the final lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Yeah, I've got Hunt onto the back of Andy, but I feel like it's not really going to mean all too much. It's Al's having a bit of an excursion, and I don't know if it was John causing the yellow flag, but it was these two. So let's see what position changes. Yeah, I'd say Squire driver of the day. Looking at the pace a little bit, he might be able to jump up to P9 here. Not too far behind Gangster Rao and Tops. But Allied Squire is going to win the Brazilian Grand Prix, a race that he wasn't supposed to be racing. But he wins by a comfortable mile. Bradford comes home in P2. And Sinful Chris taking the battle to Joe. He's going to come out on top of this race. And he sends the championship to the final round. BXTN comes home in 4th. Let Joe done everything he could today and comes home in P5. Havoc in P6. Risky Andy gonna come home in P7 as DRS has been enabled. RSF1 Hunt serves a 5-second time penalty, but he won't lose any positions. John, though, could gain 2 positions on the final lap here if he's within the time. I think he might just be out of Gangster Owls. Yeah, I think he was about a second out, I think. And there we have it. John comes home in P10 with a decent amount of, I think that's 3 points. No, that's 4 points, I should say. He got a clean race point as well. But there we have it. I do need to take screenshots of the race result. So, piss off. That one. And then there's that one. But there we have it. Allied Squire wins the Brazilian Grand Prix with Brad in P2. Sinful Chris comes home in P3 to keep his challenge alive for the title. BXCN in P4. Let Joe in P5. Havoc P6. Risky Andy P7. RSF1 Hunt in P8. Gangster Owl in P9. The Pog on his return finishes P10. Its Tops come home in P11 and Cremo finishes. Well, it didn't finish actually because he crashed out. But there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Who is the biggest winner? It would be Squire if we were going by those. But there we have it. That is the Brazilian Grand Prix over and done with. So we will be heading to Brazil. Our final race to determine the world champ, well, the drivers' champion and the constructors as well. Can't believe the pits, for fuck's sake. You did good on those pit stops. Yeah, made some awesome overtakes, so I'll take that as my highlight. See, it's a win-win situation. I don't know why a countdown is taking absolutely ages. But that is it from us, guys. I just want to say thank you to everyone who is watching me tonight. I appreciate it. If you give me a follow, that would be very appreciated. If you have Amazon Prime as well, you can use your Prime Gaming sub if you wish. But until then, guys, we will see you soon. We will be back next week for the title decider. Until then, guys, we'll see you soon, and goodbye.